Hi everyone, it's Dominique with This Girl's Worth. Thank you so much for tuning into this video. And I have a topic for you that may be a really difficult pill to swallow, but I feel it's very necessary to talk about. And it is your love for the narcissist. Because if you look at the YouTube sphere and everything that everyone's saying, you'll hear very mixed reviews whether or not it's possible that you love the narcissist or if they loved you or all of that different stuff. And you know what you feel. You know what you were feeling on the inside and what kept you in that relationship and your actual feelings towards the narcissist. So I will not dare to ever say that you didn't love the narcissist. I can't make that decision for you. But hopefully I can provide some clarity and context as to why you maybe want to rethink the term love when you describe the relationship you had with the narcissist. Because when you love someone, you always love them. You never stop loving that person. To this day, I could say that I genuinely loved the narcissist. I still have love for the narcissist. If he was a homeless man on the street and he needed a meal, I wouldn't reject him of a meal. Some of you would. Some of you would say, I wouldn't give that man nothing. Or some of you say, I wouldn't give that woman anything. I would give her a half-eaten hamburger. That's how mad some of you are and frustrated with the relationship. And I can't be mad at you because I don't know the totality of what you experienced. But if that was the situation, I wouldn't be hostile towards the narcissist. Or, that was a person that I loved one time, I was in love with. And so when you love someone, you always love someone. But here's the thing about narcissistic relationships. Being in a narcissistic relationship, that narcissist requires something very different than normal love relationships do. Normal love relationships don't require a sacrifice. They don't require you to sacrifice yourself. They don't require you to sacrifice your boundaries. If you're into spirituality, I am a Christian. I study things of spirituality in this world because I feel like as Christians we need to be equipped with the evil that's in this world. Anytime you make a covenant, a sacrifice is required. Narcissists don't require love. God describes what love is throughout the Bible in 1 Corinthians chapter 13. What the narcissist requires from you is to demonstrate worship. They require for you to demonstrate idolatry. They expect for you to demonstrate codependency. How? In order to be in a successful relationship with a narcissist, and by successful I mean long term, you need to be willing to sacrifice yourself, your boundaries, your peace of mind, your sense of independence, and your sense of dignity and integrity in order to be in a relationship with that person. You have to constantly forgive beyond comprehension and logic. You'll have to numb yourself to the things that continuously happen against you and do your best to hide your trauma or to not be traumatized. You have to constantly put that person's needs first without question. You will need to serve that person and to meet their every need when their needs are not being met in other places. You'll need to turn a blind eye to wrong or injustices against you or people that you love or even to people that they claim that they love. You'll need to pretty much pretend that that person is the most perfect human being, amazing human being, despite the evidence in front of you. When they hurt you, if you don't leave the relationship and stay away permanently, then you can assume that everything that they've ever done against you is forgiven and they have a clean slate. Do you get the point? In order to be in a relationship with a narcissist, there has to be some form of worship that takes place. And in order for you to worship something, you have to sacrifice yourself. That's the very nature of our relationship with God. We die to ourselves daily in order that we may pick up the cross and so that we may live as God intended us, and that our business would be to please the Lord and obey His commandments and to love one another as we love ourselves. Our ministry on this earth is about sacrificing ourselves, sacrificing our flesh and our needs and our desires. Similarly, when you're in a narcissistic relationship, you will sacrifice yourself. The only difference is God does it because He's protecting us, because He loves us, because He knows that following our flesh is a wide path that leads to death. When you're following the narcissist, they don't care what happens to you. They don't care about your well-being. They want you to sacrifice yourself because it benefits them, because it's about what they want. Yes, narcissists somewhat have a godlike complex. I'm not saying they are God, because I only believe in the one true God who sent his son, Jesus Christ, so let's not get that mistaken, okay? But they have a godlike complex. In a lot of ways, they're manipulating and scheming, and they think that they're above reproach in a lot of ways. They think that they're bigger and better than a lot of other people. They don't have and take to humility and humbleness the same way that other people do. When they're with their partners, you demonstrating love for them is just a confirmation of you showing them love and demonstrating them all of these things. Unforgivable, unconditional love, forgiving them for all of these things is just reiterating in their mind that they are bigger and better than everyone else. It increases that entitlement. It increases the narcissistic capabilities. The more empathetic and kind and loving you are to the narcissist, the more narcissistic they become towards you and in general. Because your kindness is an affirmation that there's nothing wrong with them. So, yes, you may have truly loved the narcissist. And love, I don't mean to quote Kelly Clarkson, but I used to love Kelly Clarkson back in the day. And she said in the song Walk Away, you think I'm stupid, but the truth is that it's Cupid, baby, loving you has made me this way. I know it seems so simplistic, but a lot of times people, you're not dumb. You're not stupid. You're not oblivious to abuse, and that's why you got in a relationship with a narcissist. You did love them. You had genuine love for them, but their love has no boundaries, and that's the problem. There's a difference between love having no bounds and love having no boundaries. Even God has boundaries. So what makes you think that another human deserves love without any sort of boundaries? What makes you think that that human is entitled to you and your peace of mind and your sense of being and independence and who you are as a person? Did I love the narcissist? Sure. But the way that I engaged in love with that narcissist was very ungodly, because it was loving that person to a fault. It was loving that person and it produced negative fruit. All it did was sow seeds of darkness in my life by loving that person the way that I did. When you love the right person, it sows the right seeds. It bears good fruit. It doesn't sow and reap bad fruit. So if you are reaping bad fruit by loving this person, then that's not a godly love. I hope that this makes sense to someone. I hope that this clarified some things that you're maybe confused about, because a lot of people think, I love the narcissist, or I loved them at a point in time, or I'll always love them. Well, I just want you to rethink this. One of the things that give me peace ultimately is that was my first relationship ever. I'm super picky when it comes to dating, so I'm not gonna just get in a relationship with anyone, and I don't believe in casual dating. Like, I'm not gonna waste my time. One, because I'm sensitive. I know that about myself. I know that I can be emotional. Even though I'm very logically minded, I'm a woman at the end of the day. So I try to do all that I can to preserve myself and not harden myself by exposing myself to a bunch of different things and people. And I think about one of the things I was really devastated was I gave my first relationship, on the first innocent part of me to this really not so great guy. Like, did he have all horrible qualities? No one has 100% bad qualities, but this was the outcome. It was a terrible relationship. Like, why did my first relationship have to be bad? And I thought about it and I said, well, Dominic, you've never actually been in love. And even though you were in love with a narcissist, he didn't know what it meant to truly be in love with someone. He faked what it meant to be in love with you because he was performing in love rather than actually having the feeling and the dedication and commitment. And it brings me solace to know that one day I'm going to be in a relationship with a man who is going to be in love with me, who's going to consider me, to think about me and his actions, who really views me a part of his future, who doesn't intend to use me or to cause me harm. The same way that I love the narcissist, that I didn't want to cause him harm or hurt him, but I considered him, that I was excited about him. I'll have that same thing with me. Similarly with you, some of you may be married to a narcissist. Some of you may have been in a long-term relationship, or this is the most serious relationship that you've ever been with a narcissist. And it's been with a narcissist. And you're disappointed that you gave so much of your life to this person. You've given so much and you feel like all of your first or all of your innocence is taken away. And I want to remind you, and I just want to give you this peace and consolation that there's still a love out there you've never experienced. And that's a mutual love, a mutual understanding, a mutually beneficial love where both people are considerate of each other. A love where you both are team players. And you haven't had an opportunity where two people are in love with each other. You had someone who's performing love. One day you're going to have someone who actually knows what it is like to love and who takes it as a commitment and takes it as a ministry to love you the right way. And that is exciting to me. So I want you to think about it that way. I don't want you to feel as though and to be stuck on, I love them, the feeling of love. Because there's so many different ways that we can express love. And unfortunately, when we get caught up with narcissistic people, or really it's, these demonic influences and spirits, but the world recognizes it by narcissism, so that's what I'll call it. When we get caught up with these types of personalities and these people, we start to get very distorted views of love, and that overwhelming feeling of the trauma bond mixed with the love and all the different stuff gets in the way of recognizing that there's a greater love and that we're going to love somebody else much more and stronger because that love will have reciprocity. Thank you so much for watching this video. Hopefully this was helpful to you. I'll talk to you soon.